Thank you for joining us. This year marks the 25th year of the Children's Advocacy Center of Suffolk County, or the CAC, providing safety, healing, and justice to those impacted by child abuse. While difficult to talk about, the CAC is committed to providing a safe place for children and families during an incredibly difficult time. We would like to take a second to thank all of our sponsors for this event. Without their support, we could not do the vital work we do every day. I especially want to thank our presenting sponsors, Delbrook JKS and Suffolk Cares, along with our patron sponsor, Torrington Properties, for their generosity. Here's a listing of all our wonderful supporters. In this video, you will hear a bit about how the CAC provides services, such as forensic interviews and specialized mental health interventions to support survivors of abuse. You will hear from CAC staff members, one of our partners, the Suffolk County District Attorney, and a young woman who generously shares her story of resiliency and hope. Thank you for taking a moment to commemorate this milestone with us.
One of the things that I love about my role at the Children's Advocacy Center is that in training and outreach, I get to be a part of prevention, whether that means preventing child abuse and exploitation from even happening in the first place, or from recognizing it and preventing it from occurring any further so that we can access healing and support for the child and the family. I'm very privileged to be in a role that is outward facing, so I often get to be in the position to meet with people throughout Suffolk County and talk with them about a topic that is really stigmatized. It's something that isn't talked about very often, but is so important so that we can prevent abuse from happening. I have so many stories of times where I have sat with lots of different people from lots of different walks of life or roles, whether they are parents, grandparents, teachers, daycare providers, medical providers, clinicians, all people who are united in the goal of protecting children, coming together into space to talk with us in a safe space about how we can recognize the signs of abuse, how we can talk with kids if they do disclose abuse or if we have any suspicions, and what those next steps are in terms of accessing resources and support for the child, and what our role is at the Children's Advocacy Center. I've been really grateful to have moments with people where I see that change occur right in front of my eyes. I can see the shift in their thinking, and I can see that for the first time, maybe they're reflecting back on their own experiences, seeing maybe signs that they may have picked up on, or are thinking about new ways they can adapt the information they've learned to protect kids in the future. Maybe that means having a conversation with a child about body safety and what it means to have autonomy over your own body, and ways to model consent and healthy boundaries with kids in our lives. It could mean helping a child identify trusted adults to tell if something bad happens. It could also mean, if you're a medical provider, learning different concrete red flags of how kids may show up in your practice that may indicate a trauma history or may indicate that they have experienced abuse or exploitation. So I really love my job. I love the work I do, and being able to meet kids and families where they're at. We do presentations for kids too. So I've, met with middle schoolers who are talking with me about social media apps and norms and pressures they face around sexting among their peers, and concerns they might have around their image being exploited, or how to say no if someone's requesting an image. So, there are so many topics we talk about, but I'm really grateful for all of you who are here showing up to this event. We all have power to have a role in prevention. Even though abuse is very common, it is preventable, and it's something that we all can achieve, but we have to do it together. Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Rachel Rollins, and I'm the District Attorney of Suffolk County. It is my honor to wish the CAC a happy 25th anniversary. One of the best things about the CAC, and the thing I'm most proud of that they do, is this is a place where all of the different agencies that come into somebody's life when a young person has been harmed or exploited, they all are located in one specific spot. So that a family, when they are picking the pieces up after one of the most traumatic and horrible things that could possibly happen to somebody occurs, they don't have to go to 7 or 8 different locations, bringing their loved one with them to get the treatment and services they require and need. Rather, the CAC has a location that everyone can go to. We are fortunate in Suffolk County to be led by the fabulous Susan Goldfarb. It is my honor and privilege to work with her every day. And although we find ourselves in a global pandemic with young people not going physically to school for months and months and months, and I know just recently they started going back slowly, but we have not seen, unfortunately, as many mandated reporters letting us know about harm to young people and children. That is consistent with not being in school because these mandated reporters aren't seeing them every day. But that certainly doesn't mean that the harm isn't happening. Many of these young people are now in the very places where the harm occurs more often than they would if they got the respite of going to school or other places. So we need the CAC. And even though we are in the throes of a global pandemic, in Suffolk County, we don't close, and neither does the CAC. They have done well over 100 forensic interviews virtually. They are showing up for this community who has been harmed and exploited every single day to help them on their path to safety and healing, and we have to support them. So it is my ask that we give as much as we can to this wonderful organization who gives everything they have to young people. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Dasha and I am a survivor of sexual abuse. I know that if you are listening right now, you are already likely a part of the fight or you are joining the fight. 25 years ago, I was born in Boston, Mass. At Boston Medical Center. When I was 5 years old, my uncle, he did start molesting me. I can remember that day very vividly, and what I do mainly remember is me reaching out to one of my friends on Instant Messenger, like saying he's here and, you know, he did it again. And that's when they was like really like telling me, you need to get out of there. You can't stay there. So that's what I did. I remember going to Kearney Hospital, getting a rape kit done on me. And after I got the rape kit done, my mother had to been called because I was by myself and I was a minor. And the person who was with me, which was an adult, was not my mother. And I was scared and nervous to call my mom, but eventually she was called and the police came and everything just came together into one. When my mom did get there, I was nervous, and as soon as I seen her, I felt like safe. I felt relieved. She came hugging me, I came hugging her, and later on, probably like 2 days after, that's when we was brought to the CAC, which is the Children Advocacy Center. When I first walked in, I was welcomed. They greeted me with like so much respect, and they cared, and it was genuine, and they showed me empathy, and that's what made me feel comfortable and like say like, okay, I can be myself, I can share my story, and they're gonna listen to me. And that's exactly what happened. I was brought into a room, it was glass, and I sat on a couch and I basically talked about what happened during my uncle coming over for April vacation. And that was pretty much that. I do remember a few days after, I met with some people who were be considered my team, and that was on April 25th, 2008, and we are now in 2020. So that was a long time ago. I can honestly say if it wasn't for my team, I wouldn't have got to where I've gotten today. I don't know if that makes sense. But I know you hear me saying team a lot, and that's all, what it's about. If there's no team, the children, they have nothing. They have no support. They feel like they have nobody. So honestly, without a team, we have nothing. And If you don't have a team, you can't guide that person on feeling comfortable or coming to you or even coming to their parent or whoever they may feel comfortable with. They wouldn't know what to do. And I hope 25 years from now that the CAC is still live and thriving and pushing and helping families and children in need. And it's not just for the children, it's also for the family as well, because families, they need counseling too. They need support. They need resources too. It's not just one apple being affected by it, it's all the apples on the tree. And that's just how I feel.
My name is Sheila Gopar, and I am part of the senior program at the CAC of Suffolk County. I feel inspired by my team, particularly during COVID-19 restrictions, which required our team to re-strategize how we were able to support exploited and missing youth during the pandemic. We quickly transitioned from meeting in person with stakeholders and multidisciplinary team members, including law enforcement, prosecutors, child protective services, clinicians, and medical personnel, to the virtual realm where we were still operational and were able to, via video conferencing, meet, share information about cases, and strategize how we were going to locate a missing youth, even if the typical mechanisms for relocation were temporarily suspended. We were undaunted. My team was successful in safely locating very high-risk youth, particularly a youth that had been brought to a hotel in the middle of the night by an adult male, had been frequently missing from care, and had a significant history of sexual abuse and was believed to be actively exploited. The team was able to quickly convene, and SEEN was able to bring team members together to come up with a comprehensive plan for what would happen once the child was located. This also included medical evaluation and, more long-term, looking at placement options, supportive services, and run prevention. I think a culminating moment for us was when we were able to meet on a video conference with that youth, and they were able to say thank you to their team for keeping them safe and supporting them through this challenging time in their life.
I am Catalina, and I am part of the mental health program. We meet parents and children during one of the most difficult times in their lives. And when we went into quarantine, there was some concern about how we were going to be able to support children and families. Because sadly, sexual abuse doesn't stop because there is a pandemic. So we moved most of our in-person work, and we've been doing it remotely ever since. As mental health clinicians, we have been able to support our multidisciplinary team by doing mental health consultation. And we've met some of the children and their caregivers after those interviews. We have been doing all of our interventions remotely. So our emotional support to children and their caregivers has not stopped. A few weeks ago, I was talking to the mom of a 4-year-old that was abused. And as you can imagine, she was very upset, she was very sad, and she was very appreciative of the time that we had together. And after a lengthy phone call, she said to me, "He sentido muchísimo apoyo y aprecio mucho todas las llamadas que hemos tenido. No sabes cuánto significa esto para mí. I feel so supported, and I appreciate all of the phone calls and all of your time. You don't understand what this means to me." She reminded me that although our services are being done remotely, our impact to the community and our support is still very much alive, still very much present, and we are doing a lot of hard work. I know we're helping families in this healing process. Thank you so much.
Thank you for spending a few moments with us. I hope you've learned more about the CAC and its positive impact. With our partners, we help families move forward through one of the most difficult experiences. Our efforts would not be possible without you. Thank you.